Go big or go home. We're talking season 14, episode 3. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Buzz.
Yes, we're buzzing. Listen to that.
I like it. See, this is Massive Attack, I've been told.
It's a good song. It was a great episode. And what's up, super fans? Before we dive into today's show, we wanted to remind you about exciting changes at our network. You may have noticed that Grey's Anatomy now airs on a brand new YouTube channel. That's because we're catering content to match our wants, and all our shows currently live on content-specific verticals. Since you're a fan of our show, all of the content on this channel, like ours, Grey's Anatomy, should be right up your alley. So hit the subscribe button right now. We have 9 genre-based YouTube channels, which you can find on the homepage of this channel. Subscribe to your favorites. AfterBuzz is the leader in custom TV coverage, and we're always looking to improve. Let us know what you think at AfterBuzz TV, or email us at info@afterbuzz.tv. And there's different references. There's comedy, we're drama. Sci-fi, superhero, fantasy, reality TV, reality competition, animation, wrestling, sports, red carpet events, and featured and original. We're getting too big, guys. That's what's going on.
You killed it, Shannon.
Yes, we have to take care of some business first. I'm like, we got to let you guys know what's going on here.
Let
and
the people
speaking of
know.
which, I'm Sans, my other host.
Yeah,
Girl, I killed them, Clayton.
you killed your other
I
host.
did not. But we do have a special guest on today's show. Is there any way to turn the music down a little bit now? Because I'm like, ooh, I can't hear myself think. I kind of feel like Dr. Avery right now. I was like, I can't, or Shepard, Dr. Shepard. I'm like, I can't see myself think right now. Yeah, so the rest of the hosts aren't in today, but they will be back next week.
Good.
But I'm so grateful that we actually have a guest of the show, Grey's Anatomy. You were on today's show.
I was on today's
Yes,
show.
we have Clayton Ferris in the house who's
Hey.
gonna.
How's it going?
Yes, and then we're also dependent on you, our audience, as a live chatting with us to kind of go over what happened during the show. And I'm so curious. I'm so excited to hear how it was to be on set and all that other stuff.
Yeah, I can give you that super sweet inside info of what
Okay.
it was like to shoot Grey's Anatomy.
I know. And then Chandra Wilson directed.
Chandra Wilson directed,
That's pretty cool.
which was awesome. Yep.
So that's man, how does she? I'm always curious how they act and they direct at the same time. Like,
Well,
how do you?
the interesting-
She's like, cut. Does she cut herself?
She says cut and then runs and puts on her thing. No, well, so the day I was there, she was just shooting the scenes that I was in, I guess 3 or 4 scenes today, where I was playing Kevin, who was...
Interesting storyline.
Yeah, interesting storyline. I think that, so his wife went in to have her baby, and they were having some issues. So they recommended a C-section, but our first child we had done a C-section, didn't go well. So then the new doctor, who's like Spanish, I think, I don't know her name. She recommended some foreplay, if you will.
Yes.
Cunnilingus.
That's Dr. DeLuca's sister.
Yeah.
She recommended foreplay, cunnilingus.
So
Okay.
Arizona thought she was talking about nipple play, but she was like, no, downstairs.
That was so intense. 'Cause
Yeah.
It was like, what did it, yeah.
So it turns out that like that worked, and then I ran out. So now I think it validates me as a good sexual partner in real life.
Yeah. Well, ladies, hey, are you single? I don't think you're single though. So.
I'm actually recently single.
Okay,
so.
he's recently single,
Hit me
ladies.
up. But I will say it was funny because I don't know how much you want me to just talk about stuff. But
We'll kind of go through that as
Okay, cool.
as part of the storyline. There's so much that happened today.
Yeah.
Like it was titled "Go Big or Go Home," so that's what you kind of have to do. You have to go big or
go home
yes, literally
with
go
an angry
home.
wife.
With an angry wife, or I know this sounds a little dark. I mean, she could have not have. Because they even said that she could die.
Yeah.
If we didn't get
It
the
was-
baby
it
out.
was
naturally.
intense,
It
yeah.
was pretty intense. I can't even imagine.
But I
just
mean,
going through-
Grey's Anatomy, as I've learned today watching it, is a very intense show.
It is very intense. Lots of different things happened. The most important thing that kind of caught my attention was Dr. Shepard getting the tumor, like letting it be known with her siblings and everybody, like at first being very afraid to tell everybody what happened with it, and then all of a sudden being able to towards the end, with the help of support of all her people, is finally being able to let it out that she has the tumor.
Yeah.
'Cause she has so much pride and joy, and she doesn't want to be wrong.
Yeah, it was cool that some of the doctors just let her know that it was like okay. You know, like that they had experienced similar things, even though the one doctor, I don't know his name, but he had a small tumor.
Yes.
Not as big as hers. So there was some tumor rivalry happening.
Some tumor rivalry happening. And is there any way we can get the live chat up too, just so we can have people chime in if they want? Because I see it kind of, maybe the computer's stuck, I don't know, but whatever. So there's, just moving on, I could say that little scenes that kept happening, like specifically with the homecoming kids.
What, Hoko Pro? What were
Yeah,
they
the
calling it?
Hoko Pro. I've heard of prom, like this happening. And this didn't happen to me when I was in high school,
You
by the
don't
way.
have homecoming?
Well, we had homecoming, but we didn't have like big gestures. I guess I just missed that. And I'm kind of glad I did.
Where did you grow up?
South side of Chicago.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, we're kind of poor. I'm like, I can't imagine these are some rich kids who, well, they said he had 2 jobs in order to get the thing.
I'm like, that
to
kid
rent the
did not.
balloon.
You could tell that was a rich little white kid from
Yes,
the suburbs.
exactly.
His parents paid for that. So I'm from the South, and it was a big deal to ask people
For homecoming or prom?
for homecoming, prom, Sadie Hawkins dance, for all the different dances.
So this is a really big thing.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
Oh, okay.
Like, and it gets, I'm sure even now it's like bigger and bigger with like you see it on social media, like big social media stars like asking people to go to prom for like all the different kids. So I thought that was a really funny storyline.
It is a really funny storyline. Usually we usually get like 2 different like cases going on. This time we had 3. We had the homecoming kid, we had Meredith's psychiatrist, and then we had your Kevin and Marnie. Which is interesting. What was it like to play against have you ever been in a situation where a woman was in labor, first off?
No.
Okay.
So it was kind of funny because I was a little bit worried. I was like, how do you act in this moment? And just there were a lot of mothers on the set.
Okay.
Including like the director, Chandra, and like the woman who plays Arizona. I can't remember her name, but so everyone was like,
I'm a mom and I get it.
yeah. And the woman that played Marnie, her name is Amy Farrell, and they were giving her.
Does she have a baby?
She has a baby.
Oh,
in
she
real
has
life,
a baby in real
and
life.
they were giving her props because
Okay.
she was like nailing it. And when a woman around you is like and doing that pain
Yes.
thing,
Yes.
literally, like I was just kind of like, I don't know what to do, and they were like, "You're doing exactly."
Wow, I don't know what to do. This feels real right now.
Yeah, it feels real because you're on a studio, but like it looks like a hospital, and like they take very serious care about making sure all the like whatever's around you is like actually running like it would be in a real hospital. There's a I don't know what you would call them, but there's someone on set right there saying like this
Medical
would run.
jargon.
Yeah, just like and being like this would run this way. You wouldn't walk like
Wow.
that. The doctor wouldn't do that. So like it was cool that they take that stuff very seriously.
That's so dope. And
Yeah.
they made sure that you understood everything that was going on. Did you feel like you were in a hospital?
I mean, I felt like I was in a hospital
okay,
and like
that's good for your character,
No,
isn't it?
totally. And I mean, it was fun to just be in those circumstances and imagine, but I mean, but there was also heavy drama happening. I was as an actor, I was worried for a moment. I was like, am I doing this too big? Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, because imagine when you do have a kid, when you are a dad.
Yeah.
If you do plan, I don't even know if you plan on having kids, but if that were the case, at least you have some practice.
No, totally.
You know?
But also, like, the actors that are on the show full time were like, no, this is a drama. You'll be fine. Just play
Yes.
into it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So you can't go. It says go big or go home.
Go
That's
big
the
or
name
go
of the
home.
episode.
Exactly.
So, and speaking of other little things, like little tidbits, hopefully you guys can. There we go. We got some queen. Like she needs to chill. There we go. Maggie did that unconsciously. I was just about to mention something about Maggie and Jackson. I didn't like their little tug or whatever happened with them. I didn't like that. A little bit annoyed with Maggie again. Like she's still, I don't want her to be with Jackson. Jackson is kind of like her brother, but like basically Jackson's mom is dating her birth father. So if they get together, it'd be kind of incestuous. But the show itself is pretty incestuous. Muna is talking about Luca dumped her. Yeah, but he was trying to get her that scene. Thank you, Muna Bar, and I'm so happy that now we have some. I'm
Some
now we have
interaction. Yeah, because
some
clearly
interaction.
no one wants to hear me talk about a show that I don't watch.
But it's great. You were a guest on it. You were on the show. So
No, totally.
You want her with Jackson Just Sheldon? I don't think so. I don't Unicorn Con. I am with you. I do not want Maggie with Jackson. It's just too incestuous, and I kind of want him to get back with April. To be completely honest, next week when my co-hosts come back, it's almost like the Shannon Bobo takeover. I can finally give my opinion, and they can't say anything. It's so great.
Okay, I will binge it, Sheldon.
He's like, binge the
so
show.
I actually watched Grey's Anatomy when it first came out.
I know he was talking about the theme song from the original. Do you guys sing it?
One of the
Let me see if they
producers
remember it.
came in and was like, "You want the theme song?" And I was like, "You mean let them know that you?"
You guys
know
remember this?
best." It's called "How to Save a Life" by The Fray. So when I watched Grey's Anatomy, that was the theme song. So it's a lot's changed, obviously.
Clearly, yes.
14 years later, or seasons later.
No, we don't want Jackie, Queen of Regal. It's Jackie. It's Japril. Japril all day. Okay, Japril.
Are you trying to ship them?
Yes, I'm trying to ship. Now it's like the Shannon Bobo takeover. I can never get my opinions in usually because everyone's always against me, the rest of the panel. So it kind of feels good to be taken over right now. So other little tidbits that happen. Meg and Owen, the brother and sister duo. Now she just had a whole new abdomen placed on her, and all he could talk about was his troubles with his wife. And then she's just like, look, I was been estranged from my whole life for the past 10 years. I'm now separated from my son. I'm like, but here, let's just talk about your situation, Owen. Let's just talk about that. What did you guys think of that? I really want to know about Owen. Like, he just needs, now Amelia has an excuse because she has a brain tumor. So now he's going to have to try to like make sure that they're cool, I guess. I maybe this will bring them back together. I don't know. How to Save a Life. Where did I go wrong?
Exactly. That's the song.
That's the song. Olivia's like, but that's the song.
Olivia knows the song.
Okay. So do we think that this is going to bring Owen and Amelia back together now that it's been learned about her tumor and everything? Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure. Another thought that I had was maybe if something were to happen to Meg, Owen will finally get his son if the kid that's far, far away will come back, he'll have to take care of the kid. So I was like, at least Owen will finally get his baby. But I agree. Owen needs to drop Amelia like a bag of rocks. Wow. That's pretty, that's pretty bold. But she does kind of deserve it. But now we kind of understand why Amelia is behaving the way she's behaving, because she literally has a brain tumor that's stopping her from being able to plan.
Right.
And like she said, Gray will be right because she already thinks I'm crazy. Now this proves that I'm crazy because I have a tumor. And this would explain her behavior of Owen and the toxic relationship. Yeah. So maybe this, I was thinking maybe this is their way of trying to kill Amelia off the show. But I'm like, no, but maybe this will fix everything.
What if she is just a toxic person? What if she gets the tumor taken out and she just is still...
That might be the case because they said it's been in her for at least 10 years. I'm like, well, the show is in 14 seasons now, so what happened
and most
before?
of these people that have relationships with her have only known her in those 10 years.
Yes, they've known her.
They've only known her since she can't make plans. I'm curious, has anyone ever done anything, hung out with her? Like, can she make those type of plans?
Yes, that's so funny. That's so funny. Let's see. Yes, Owen will figure out she was acting the way she was because of the tumor. Yeah, that's a really good. And then maybe it'll open her up to having a baby again. And you never know. Like, this could be a possibility for that can just crack the egg. Literally, we're about to crack Amelia's skull to get the tumor out.
Wide
so maybe it'll crack her whole life and like make everything different now. It could possibly be the case, guys. No, I don't think Owen and Teddy hook up, and I don't think they will. Exactly, Amelia 2.0. I completely agree with you, Muna.
Can we talk
it could be a complete character change. Yeah.
Can we talk about the Arizona character and the The girl.
DeLuca. Yeah, that's
DeLuca.
DeLuca. It's one of the character's sisters.
Okay.
So Arizona and DeLuca are lovers now.
Okay, they're lovers.
And it's recent because I'm always rooting for Arizona to get some loving because she needs it. Like she has like disastrous lesbian relationships too on here. Well,
Okay.
relationships. She's a lesbian, but it seems like she can't win, and I just want love for her.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's pretty interesting how that took place. Like,
Yeah.
and how they discovered how that's going to help this baby be born.
Yeah. I loved it. I love that there's like that whole through line of like kind of kinky foreplay.
It was kind of kinky, and this is like old Grays, where couples would just kind of like all of a sudden kiss out of like we had Joe and Karev out of nowhere make out in the elevator, and like that was pretty sexy. I'm like, oh, this reminds me of the old days when they used to make out and everything. And she's like, you like the idea, Calzona? That's cute. That's a cute, because her name is Callie DeLuca, and then Calzona. That's pretty good. I like that unicorn.
That's a good ship.
So, and
Olivia doesn't like that girl.
why not?
I will hold my opinion.
Okay. All right.
Did they hook up on the last episode?
Arizona and DeLuca,
DeLuca?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they had some sort of little thing happen on now.
Okay.
I kind of want to get into Gray and Riggs. What do we think of that? Like, okay, so Riggs, a little bit of backstory since you, Meg is Owen's sister, but she's returned now from being gone. They think she was dead, and she wasn't dead. She returned after 10 years. She was with Riggs, but when she was away, he started to get together with Gray. So when she came back, he had to drop Gray, because imagine if you think your lover, your
Right.
fiance is dead, and then all of a sudden she comes back. You have another chance at love.
That'd be
So
awkward.
even Gray was like, no, go for it. If, because her husband, Shep, died a couple years ago now, and she's like, if he came back, I would drop you too. So I kind of understood that. So
That's a tough one to be put in, though.
It is
If
a
you
very
think
tough
someone's
situation.
dead, then you've mourned that person, right? I mean, in your head.
well, he hasn't,
And then
because you
they
don't
come
know for
back.
sure. You
Right.
don't know for sure if they're actually dead. Like I wouldn't even begin to imagine how I would feel about that. Like I
Yeah.
guess you just kind of like make sense of it and just do your best to move on.
Right. You'd have to move on because it'd be hard to be trapped in that like not knowing zone, right?
Yeah, but you just don't know. You have
Right.
no idea. I mean, I wouldn't even know how to move on. And I mean, clearly he moved on physically, but emotionally, it's just like you just don't know what happened to him. Like you have no idea. So that's kind of crazy. I don't know, Meredith pushing Riggs towards Megan when he doesn't love her now. She didn't know that at first, though. And with all due respect, Luna, she didn't know. She just imagine from Gray's perspective, if her husband if Derek just came back out of nowhere, she would just she would drop everything. That was her. Well, I think she's starting to really feel for Riggs, though. She may have the same little dynamic going on too. I don't know. I don't blame her for saying, if I had the opportunity to get my husband back, if he all of a sudden showed up alive, I would do it. Like, imagine the love of your
Would you?
life. Yes, I think so.
I'd have to see the receipts on that. I'd have to see it play out.
Yeah,
'Cause
she's scared too. Like you
Yeah.
heard her talking to the shrink. The shrink. One of her shrinks was in a operating table.
Yeah.
So and then she was just like, well, how do I do this? Like, what would I do? And he was just, you just kind of have to go for it. Like life moves on. I can see them together for sure. I think it's gonna happen. I think for sure. And
Me too.
Gray, like he said, Queen of Regal said, get your head out of your ass. I understand that. I'm like, yes, she may have to.
Can we talk about how much money? What's her name in real life? Gray's name? I can't think of her name, but she's the richest woman on television.
No.
Yes.
Is she?
Yes. Because she's been in so many episodes of Grey's Anatomy.
That's pretty damn good.
Sorry, I just broke the.
No, it's
broke
fine.
your
No.
train. You're doing a really great job talking to yourself, by the way.
I-
because I'm literally like.
No, I'm talking to them.
and the people, but you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like you're.
Well, because I know everything that's happening, and it's
Yeah,
know,
and
and
you
I
ha-
wasn't
these
here
are all
last
your
week either.
friends.
Yeah, well, I remember him. And another thing about Bailey being fired, because of Avery. Wait, I'm like getting confused about Jackson's grandfather. I can't. Yeah, I'm like always forget names. That's why I always depend on my other hosts for. Yeah, Bailey got fired. She got. Did you not watch it? Were we watching the same thing?
I
yeah,
even knew Bailey got fired. Mm-hmm. She got fired and then he died. So it's not clear if she's fired yet.
Yeah, well, she's not going to be because it's like it just doesn't count if he. Yeah, Harper Avery death was. I know it was very. It looked like Weekend at Bernie's, the way they were like flipping up. I'm like, wait, no, he's dead. Like he whoever that actor is, he played the hell out of being dead. I was like, go ahead,
but
boy.
Also they just ran in and he was just gone.
Yeah, he was
like,
gone.
Was there anything leading up to him dying?
And we were thinking. Remember we said, well, what if he wrote an email saying she fired?
Yeah.
Like, that's the only way
like
to
she
count.
sits. He sits send right before he died.
Yeah.
But no one cared that he died though, even his family.
It was very Montgomery Ward. Well, because he was such an angry dude.
He was a grumpy,
he was a grumpy man.
Dude.
Mm-hmm. Grandpa Avery needed to go R.I.P. Oh, R.I.P. Grandpa. And I like the way he called Jackson Jackie. That was so demeaning and belittling. He was just like, wait, what are you talking about?
And he called what's Chandra's character's name? Chandra Wilson. He called her
Bailey.
Binky.
Yeah, Binky. He's like, when she catching her feelings. I was like, who is this? I was like, who wrote this?
Oh,
that
yeah.
was hilarious.
Go take her out of here while she catches her feelings.
Yeah,
that's a
exactly.
good line.
That was a great line. It sounds very
That's Shonda
young for him.
Rhimes' team and their finest.
It's very young for him though to say that. When she can develop her feelings or whatever he said.
Yeah. I just
yeah.
love Chandra Wilson. I think she's so cute. She has such a great energy.
Yeah, so tell me more about like what it's like to be directed by.
I mean, it was great. Like she like that's a well-oiled machine. Like I was in however many scenes that was. We shot that very quickly in one day. So it was just like everyone's there to work.
Well, you told me when we were watching it that a couple of your lines got cut.
Some of my lines got cut, and like
was it important to the story or?
I don't think it was important to the story. It was kind of filler in the scenes. It gave more information about what was happening between the couple, but that happens often.
Yeah, clearly.
Like literally, sometimes when you tell people that you're like going to be on a show, you're like, I don't even want to. Like, you don't know for sure what they're gonna see.
Yes. See, I know Clayton from a different world too. I actually work in commercial casting, and I'm a commercial actress too. And then, so I see you all the time.
Yeah.
And like, we book him on commercials and different things like that.
Yes, yes.
And I forgot what I was about to loop around to. I forgot my point.
We're just talking about our deep history.
Yeah, our deep history. But how is it different? That's what I was going to say.
Oh,
how is it different working on a commercial versus working on a TV show? Because I have not been blessed with that opportunity
Well,
yet.
I mean, you get paid more to do commercials.
Yes.
So
don't sleep.
So if you're an actor out there, don't dog commercials.
Don't dog commercials. No, the other day I had this guy. He's like, oh, you shoot commercials? Well, everybody has to start somewhere. That's what he told me. I was like, I'm probably making more money to you.
Yeah,
dude.
exactly.
Anyway.
Like a lot of my friends out here who they're like, I don't do commercials. I'm like that's why you working at the Wendy's.
I was like, don't sleep on commercials.
But I mean, it's just different. It's like it's really quick. Like, I mean, even the lead actors on the show, like no one gets a lot of time to say their lines.
So you have to be ready.
You got to be ready. They just plow through, and that's what's happening.
Right. So you just have to be prepared.
Oh, I didn't mean that rude, Unicorn.
No, Unicorn. He didn't mean that. He was just.
No, I just meant like actors that have other jobs.
And we were talking about the opposite. And it's okay to have your opinion too. I mean, like we were just talking about like sometimes when you tell people that you work in commercials, they'll just be like.
They come at you.
Yes. They'll say, oh, sorry. And it's like.
That's all.
Where's Grey's Anatomy filmed? Right here in LA.
Yeah,
they want to know. Like,
it's
if you
filmed
guys,
in Los Angeles. Well, it's actually filmed in
actual building that looks like a hospital.
Yeah,
right?
it looks like a hospital. It's a studio that's in Los Feliz, which is like it's not near all the other studios.
Wow.
It's like buried in the middle of this like neighborhood.
Oh, Unicorn was like, not you.
Okay.
We were talking about she scaling back. Unicorn was talking about when the guy was like, oh, you just shoot commercials. Oh, thank you, Unicorn. The guy who said that to Shannon, yes. He's like, oh, sorry. Yes, okay, there you go. I was like, wait. But it's okay to have opinions on here.
Someone asked, how long does it take to film an episode? A TV episode usually shoots over 10 days. So
one episode, 10 days.
One episode is 10 days.
Oh, my God.
So, like, I mean, wasn't on for 10 days. I was on for one day, but
awesome.
but everyone else is like, they have to finish within 10 days, and then you move on.
Yes, because
Yeah.
it's, I mean, how many episodes in a season? Usually, like a grade's probably 18.
Yeah.
So that would make sense. A full season, you got to keep moving.
Keep it
moving. Man, that was interesting. It's so cool to have somebody who was actually on this show, because it's.
I wish I knew more about the show.
I kind of want to like have you dish about. I'm like, was anybody mean or? I guess
Everyone was perfectly nice.
Okay, fine. They always say that he probably signed an NDA to say you better say we all nice.
No, everyone was
Okay.
nice.
Okay,
Like,
I believe you.
yeah,
I've heard that before.
nothing but good things.
Nothing but good things. So, I want to make sure we didn't. Oh, April. I want to talk a little bit really quick about April chiming in. And this is the reason why people don't like April, because she always has a way, the homecoming scene, the girl who was telling everybody, she was telling the homecoming girl that she should go out with the guy after all. So she was chiming in, and April can't even live to her own word. Because the backstory, long story short, April had a guy do a flash mob to ask her to marry him. She left him at the altar. So she's telling this little girl to stand up to the plate where she can't even stand up to the plate.
Right.
So, and I just thought that was kind of interesting that April, and the little girl at the end is doing exactly what April told her to do, but she doesn't even want to do that. So I'm like, April, why don't you live up to your own word and be there? I was a little bit annoyed. I totally remember the flash mob. It was bomb. She is a lot. April is incredibly extra. I think she may regret her own decision, so that's why but still, like, to tell a little girl not to go out with the guy that she wants to go out with.
Yeah, she was saying it very much like she had said yes.
Yes, it was ridiculous. It was like, girl, stop. And she made it sound like she's like, oh, you guys must have a really good marriage. And she's like, I actually married the other guy instead. Like, she was such a jerk. So anyway, yeah, she is doing a lot. She is totally doing a lot. And so, Amelia Shepherd in a tumor, again, going with her pride and not wanting to share it with people. I'm glad that she finally turned around and was like a woman enough to be like, okay, I need some help. And I love her doctor teacher who just said, you cannot operate on people. And she's so stubborn. She was still ordering DeLuca around, like, go get this patient file and da 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 da. And they were like, girl, just be sick and take care of yourself so that you can be able to take care of people.
Machine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like
an MRI machine.
No, it's like, girl, she's doing the most too.
She's doing the most.
Mm-hmm. The most, for sure.
What else?
You thought it was pretty good advice? We're scaling back to April in the homecoming situation. You thought it was pretty good advice. I say practice what you preach, to be completely honest with you. You honestly think that she did good by telling the girl that she should go out with a guy that she doesn't like? I don't think so. I don't think so. That was, you don't want to discourage a man from making beautiful gestures the way he did, but he also has to understand that sometimes you're going to get disappointed. So,
amen.
I mean, I'm just saying that, like, because I think it's worse if she's going out with him knowing that she doesn't like him, all for show. And, I think that's worse, personally. Just like April saying yes to marriage to this man and she didn't want to do it. So the girl was going to say yes until she started getting hit up on Instagram and Facebook. She was like, well, but one of the hottest guys at the school is asking me out now, so I'm going to go with this guy.
What was his name? Rick Hannon?
Yeah,
or
something like that. Yeah, he was, and that girl was cute too, that little girl. That's just my personal opinion. You guys can think you're like, April did a good job by telling the little girl to do something.
There's no one here to battle you.
There's nobody. Well, they're battling me. That's true. So I'm right. This is the coolest part. And I do have one more quick little read. Valor, Monday, the Charlie Whiskey Television Network, the CW, brings you to the front line of drama with a new military series. So that'll be pretty dope. 2 special ops Army helicopter pilots breaking boundaries and defying all expectations. Their bravery in the face of impossible odds earned them the distinguished flying across valor. But together they're finding that truth is the first casualty of war. During their last mission, something went wrong. Something no one is talking about. And when they went to the combat zone, not everyone came home. and now they have secrets. Ooh, that sounds familiar. But they're also patriots and refuse to leave any man behind. What would you do if you had to break the rules to do what's right? Would you stay grounded and step in line, or go to the lengths and to learn the truth? They share secrets, go on to clandestine missions, risk life and limbs with only each other to depend on. How close will you get to the only person who really knows you? It's the explosive new drama that pushes the boundaries between military discipline and human nature. The new series that's right, on target. Valor, the world premiere after season premiere of Supergirl, and that's coming up on Monday, only on Charlie Whiskey. Well, thank you guys for being on here with us. Clayton, thank you so much for being on here. Where can we find you?
Thank you for having me. You can find me on, say, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff, at Clayton Ferris, Farris. And I don't know, I have some things coming up soon, but hopefully I'll come back to AfterBuzz to talk about those.
Yes. Again, thank you guys for being on here. Next week, my co-host will join me back. You can find me everywhere at Shannon Bobo. Thanks for watching Grey's Anatomy After Show.
Adios.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.